So you've decided to take the plunge and start playing Yu-Gi-Oh! However, with over 12,000 cards in the game and almost 400 archetypes, where do you even start? Well, YouTube is always a good place. However, how good are some of these decks that we see profiled day in and day out on that platform? Well, you're about to find out, my friends, and this is Season 3 of Net Deck 101. Let's get it going. What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. You know who it is by now. Jimothy. So ladies and gents, we are back with another installment of Net Deck 101. It has been a while since this series hit back on the channel, but we are here, ladies and gents, and unfortunately I can't make it to locals this weekend. However, I thought to myself, do you know what, let's do something fun. Let's try a random rogue deck and just let's see its viability. And boy oh boy was I surprised. The deck in question is Generators. Now, I've used Archangel YGO's profile here. I felt like this was probably the most interesting profile that I've seen, and as always, I will leave a link to his channel in the description. So if you do go over there and check out his content, be sure to hit that like button on him. Let him know that Jimothy sent you, and let's just get straight into the replays, ladies and gents. Let's get it going.
You're chilling with the rain. You're singing a butterfly. Baby, you give me midnight. You whip up my appetite. Don't leave me high and dry. Baby, you give me high and fire. You're channeling wind and rain. You're some kind of butterfly. Baby, you give me midnight. You whip up my appetite. Don't leave me here high and dry.
So this is the list that Archangel YGL profiled on his channel. Big shout out to him. As always, like I said at the start of the video, I will leave a link in the description to the actual video where I got this deck profile from. Now what I will say straight off the bat, this is a very solid list. I like the way the list performed. I was a little bit skeptical to start off with because I felt like Generaiders is a little bit more of a control deck, so having a few like hand traps in terms of like Ash Blossom, Nibiru, that kind of thing, I thought it might hinder the deck somewhat, but nope, it just absolutely plays like a dream. The inclusion of Vala, obviously this is a new support from Photon Hypernova. This card's just absolutely crazy. It does so much for the deck. It allows you to just plus. It doesn't actually do anything to the monsters that it summons. There's no like restriction on them. There's no like negation or anything like that. It literally just grabs a monster from hand or graveyard. So very strong. I love the inclusion of Diviner of the Herald, and there's two reasons I like this. One being Trias Hierarcha, which is just a crazy card in of itself, and the ability to go into DD Sprite, because you can actually go into, where is it, Baron. We all know what Baron does, and it actually allows your field spell to kind of like resolve unhindered, basically, because it resolves in the draw phase. And if you want to, you can tag the Baron out and just bring something back. You can even bring back a Vala, which is just crazy. So yeah, definitely a nice little inclusion of the deck. The hand trap lineup was solid, what you come to expect with the current meta. Ash Blossom, Nibiru to check, the Kashtira matchup, as well as the inclusion of Kurikora Divicarnate. Now, I don't know, this card, I used it. It has its applications. You have to, I'm not too sure if it's worth maining, to be honest. It does work super well, and you can OTK so quickly in this deck. It's unreal, and you don't really need your extra deck to do so. But Kurikora Divicarnate, I think this was more of a tech just to kind of like see how the card functions, and I'm not sure. It's definitely a strong card, but I'm not sure if it's worth maining. But everything else was really solid. Obviously Prosperity, just the consistency just that it allows, so just any deck that can afford to play, just super duper powerful. Extra deck was just what you would come to expect. Obviously the 2 Zeuses for the Kashtira matchup, because Diablosis is a card. The only issue I had with the extra deck was this card right here, which was Vaylantz Delta. I didn't actually summon it. I didn't see why it would be in the deck if it's just there to be a beat stick or just like a blocker. There's other cards that you could have potentially put in this place, and I felt like it just didn't do anything, to be honest, and I never went into it. So this could have been something else. I think the biggest issue I found with this deck is the extra deck not being able to go into some more generic link monsters, whether that be like Nightmare Unicorn, Nightmare Cerberus, or Phoenix, or something like that. That could have been this slot right here, ladies and gents. But the rest of the extra deck's pretty solid. Psychic End Punish is a nice little tech, as well as obviously putting a Linger Rebo. Again, this is just a check of the meta. You could potentially take this out, and I probably will do, because Kashtira players are kind of like moving away from playing the Nightmare Corruptor Ibli just because of its consistency. The extra deck, sorry, this side deck, ladies and gents, yeah, it was what it was, pretty solid. Another thing that I always mention this, like side deck removal, sorry, back row removal in the form of spells and traps is always in the side deck. I always like to main at least one back row removal, whether that be Harpy's Feather Duster or a Cosmic Cyclone, just so I don't lose to a random Floodgate. I know it's only a one-of and it's a chance to draw it, but having it in your deck and seeing it, even if you don't need it, and being able to either set it or just hold it in hand, I feel like is really valuable, especially with like Kashtira Birth, skill drain in the format with Labyrinth. Just having a Cosmic Cyclone just does so much work. But the rest of the side deck is pretty solid. I think the spiciest thing that I found, and the thing that just won me a couple of games outright, was this card right here, Consecrated Light. You can actually summon this off. Let me just double check if I was getting this right. Yeah, you can summon this off Diviner. So you, with the Diviner, you dump the Hierarchia, tribute the Diviner off, and then you can special summon out the Consecrated Light, and this is an absolute blowout against branded Despia. It's literally just no to the deck. It's crazy what it does. So very interesting little tech right here, and something I'm actually going to be considering, because I'm actually considering taking this deck to locals just because I had so much fun testing it. But anyway, ladies and gents, what do you think? Is there anything that I missed off this deck? Would you change anything? If so, let me know in that comment section below. And now we find ourselves at the end of another video. As always, if you do like this content, you know what to do by now. Hit that like button, share, subscribe, all of that beautiful good stuff. And I will definitely see you guys on the next video. Hope you enjoyed. Peace.